Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Mythic bringing you guys another video, and after watching yesterday's preseason game, I got a couple evaluations and a couple players that stood out to me personally. I want you guys to drop in the comment section below whether it's from the Saints, the Cardinals, or just any other game. I'm going to dissect this one for the Cardinals aspect. I'm going to let you guys know all the players that I thought stood out. I want you guys to do the same too. If you're a Cardinals or Saints fan, you probably had close eyes on this because you want to know what backup is going to be good, how your team's going to shape out, and how your roster's coming together. So drop those players down below, and we are going to get this thing started right now. If you guys are new to the channel though, I am on the road to 7,000, just hit 6K a little over 2 weeks ago. So if you do end up enjoying, man, consider hitting that subscribe button. But let's go ahead and dive right into this thing right now. So for the first player that I thought stood out to me was going to be first round pick Darius Robinson. When he was on the field, which was very limited, but in those reps that he was actually playing, he was dominating. He was taking on double teams. He was playing on the inside. He was playing on the outside. He was playing literally everywhere on the defensive line, and he was wreaking havoc. When he was going up against the Saints' first team offensive line, because they actually played their starters, he was having his way, getting to the quarterback, causing pressure. There were so many times you could just tell that Darius Robinson is going to actually be a monster, because although the Saints are running kind of a vanilla offense like every preseason team does, and they are trying to figure this out into a new system, Darius Robinson has never played an NFL snap. He came in here and he showed exactly why he deserved to be a first-round draft pick, and if he can keep this kind of production up going into the regular season, there's a high chance that he actually starts for us at some point, because what I saw last night was pretty spectacular. Darius Robinson is going to be the first player that I thought was a monster, and the second player is also on the defensive side, is Starling Thomas. I have been raving about him in training camp. Everything that I've seen, I think he deserves to be that starting outside corner. And Jonathan Gannon, obviously Nick Rallis, believed that because he was listed the starter on the depth chart. And last night, in his action that he got, he proved exactly why he deserves to be there and showed exactly why he deserved to be outside of Sean Murphy-Bunting and in the starting lineup. Again, he was one of those players going up against the first team Saints, and he was strapping up. I was definitely impressed, and I was already impressed going into training camp, so to keep it going, I'm pretty happy. His corner was a massive struggle for this team, so it looks like it's going to continue to improve, and we also have Max Melton, who's going to develop and hopefully get some more reps. I don't think he played. I could be wrong about that, but I don't remember seeing him on the field. But Starling Thomas balled out, and so did Clayton Clark. I'm gonna give love to the corners yesterday. They were balling, and the same thing goes for Darren Hall as well. Two other corners that were balling. Clayton Clark was strapping up once again, just like Starling Thomas, and Darren Hall had a break up, and I believe in the back left end zone on a crucial third down, and then he almost out Spencer Rattler, but he did lay the boom, which is nice to see a cornerback actually tackling. We're not really used to that as Cardinals fans, so it was nice to see. Darren Hall is somebody who is a very fringe player right now, because I think our four corners that we're going to be rocking with, or at least the top four, is going to be Sean Murphy-Bunting. It's going to be Garrett Williams in the slot, Starling Thomas, and then more than likely Clayton Clark, and I think Darren Hall is in competition for that CB5 spot. So keep your eye out for him, because that is definitely something that is very open and very possible for him to obtain. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, especially last night, he's gonna earn it. Now we're gonna go ahead and flip it to the offensive side, and we are going to start with no other than Clayton Tune. Another guy that I've been raving about in training camp. I thought he looked phenomenal, taking a massive step, and you could just tell in training camp too that he wasn't the same quarterback that he was last season when he was a rookie. His progressions looked a lot cleaner. His arm strength is still something that is like a little teeter-tottery, but again, you don't need to have an elite arm. Throwing the ball like you're Josh Allen, just have an insane zip. You can still get it done, especially if you're a backup quarterback, and he did that last night. He had 163 passing yards, a passing touchdown as well, and he was zipping the ball. Had a couple insane completions. I talked about it yesterday too. He had that drive, the first drive that he checked into the game in the second half, led the team down. Michael Carter ended up taking it in for a touchdown. That's exactly what you need to see, because Desmond Ridder looked like Duke. So Clayton Tune, I think, is going to win the QB2 spot. That's something that we got to keep our eyes out for, because it is still a competition. Desmond Ridder has the experience, but if Clayton Tune continues to ball out like this and Desmond Ridder performs like this, I think there is a high chance Clayton Tune walks away with the QB2 spot pretty convincingly, because he is backing up what he did in training camp into actual live reps. So All I'm saying is I want Clayton Tune to win that. Big fan over here. And another player I'm a fan of is Michael Carter, who was listed as running back 5 on the depth chart coming out, but he actually had 7 carries and made it well worth it. 41 yards, the touchdown we talked about, he pounded it in. Shout out Michael Carter. I love his game. I think he brings a different dynamic when it comes to running the football, and he is somebody that I really hope makes the roster because he is so dynamic. Can do it in the pass game, can do it in the receiving game. You guys know I love me some Michael Carter. He's arguably the 3rd or 2nd best running back on this roster because Trey Benson has not evolved into anything yet. He's a rookie. He has to develop. He has to figure everything out. He looked a little skittish, but I think he's going to be okay. I do think he is the best running back in this draft class, but it's going to take him some time to figure it out. He doesn't need to be hoisted into any situation. Let him learn. Let him take a backseat. Let him take a step up next year or maybe later down the line in the season. I think James Conner is the team's starting lead back. No doubt. If you disagree with that, I don't know what to tell you, but Michael Carter is genuinely somebody that can compete for running back too. I think it's going to be him, Trey Benson, Amari DeMarcado fighting for that. I think it is honestly in competition. I don't think anything is established. Trey Benson is going in to preseason, I believe, as running back 2, and then it goes Amari DeMarcado, then it goes DJ Dallas, and then it goes Michael Carter, is what the depth chart was, but Jonathan Gannon said not to worry about that, but of course, you know, I'm going to look into everything. Probably overanalyze things a little past what it needs to be, but based on what Michael Carter did, I genuinely think he at least moved the needle if he wasn't already there, closer to running back 2 or running back 3, and I don't know what the returning is going to be like, because I don't know if Greg Dortch is going to be our punt returner or kick returner, because DJ Dallas was taking it, but our ones weren't playing. So I don't know where that's going to stand. I think if DJ Dallas doesn't win the return spot, he's not going to make the roster, which is going to open up that spot for Michael Carter and make it a lot easier. Michael Carter was a standout and impressed me a ton. And then the other person on defense, I'm going to flip it back, who impressed me was Dadrian Taylor Demerson, the rabbit. Dude was flying all over the field. I loved this draft pick so freaking much, and it is panning out because we needed somebody as a reinforcer in that secondary behind Buddha and Jalen, and it looks like we might have that because I remember, I can't find the exact clip, I tried to find it yesterday, where he came through a gap, wrapped up the running back in the backfield, and he read that like a book. It might have been 2nd down, I believe, and then it caused like the 3rd down where it was Darren Hall, I think, who broke it up. I'm not sure. I don't remember the whole sequence. I had a long day yesterday, but it was something like that. But he was balling yesterday, and if he can keep that up, he's going to win the backup safety role pretty easily. It might be him and like Joey Blunt for special teams and potential packages here and there. But what he brings in run support and speed, I think this defense could greatly value that and utilize those skills to a high tier. So hopefully he keeps balling up because I love the skill set he possesses, and I think he could be a fantastic player. Then I also got to give love to our inside linebackers once again. I think they stood out was Owen Popo and Chris Barnes. They were wrapping up. They weren't missing open field tackles. They were stopping it if it got to the 2nd level almost instantaneously. They were a huge reason on why this defense looked the way it did. So I want to give shout out to them as well. I can't let them go under the radar. And then I also got to shout out Dan Chisnia as well. He was our leading receiver. Something about number 17 in preseason. It's just the number you always got to look out for. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. But he balled out yesterday, was the team's leading receiver, and hopefully he can continue this up because our receiving core is a little shaky past wide receiver 4. Honestly, past wide receiver 3, you could argue every spot is in contention. You have Zach Pascal and Chris Moore, who I think might solidify spots. I'm not sure, because you have people like Xavier Weaver, you have Tajon Palmer, then you also have Dan Chisnia fighting, and if he can perform like this, I mean, he might find himself on the active roster. So that's just somebody else who stood out, and you have to keep your eyes out for, because you can't overlook his, 62 yards? That's not chump change. So if he can replicate that and put up another 50 bomb, gotta keep those eyes peeled. But with that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video. Those are the players who stood out to me. Let me know down in the comment section below what players stood out to you. And if you are new to the channel, man, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL related content. So if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. Like I said, man, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.